on this absolutely splendid setting here at Croke Park. 64,000 people packed in, and the mass bands of the Artane Boys Band and some of the older Artane Boys Band members as well, just waiting for the arrival of our president in this his final year in office. Escorted by Liam Mulvihill, the President making his way up into the Ort Coyle section here in thronged Croke Park.
That's Dr. Hillary, a Munster man, of course, from Clare, but not too far from the Galway borders. I wonder where his loyalties will lie this afternoon. Bobby Ryan, I just got across you there. I was going to ask you the point. This time last year, some 50 minutes before the throw-in the senior final, what are Tipperary's thoughts? What exactly is happening now in the dressing room?
Well, at this stage, Croke Park, they work it out to the very minute. Guy knocks on the door and says, right, you've got 15 minutes. Then he comes back and he says, you've got 10 minutes. Big pressure time. This is it. You've worked for 10 months, you've trained, you've thrust yourself, and you now realise you're 10 minutes away from getting out onto the pitch. You just want to get out there, release all the nerves and tension and everything.
But of course, Bobby, sorry again, but the Tipperary are not entirely unrepresented here in Croke Park this afternoon, because the Jubilee team here today is the Tip team of 64 and 65. They're about to be introduced to the crowd right now by Micheál Murherty, so perhaps we'll go over and have a little look at that.
Many famous names indeed. John Doyle there, fourth from the right. I also got a quick glimpse, I think, of Babs Keating making his way in also. A famous
in 1964, Tipperary beat Kilkenny 5-13 to 2-8. The captain was Mick Murphy. In 65, they beat Wexford 2-16 to 10 points, and Jimmy Doyle was captain that day. August na Leandra Elavino, Erin Limdashin, John O'Donoghue, the goalkeeper. The timid trio of full-backs, John Doyle, Michael Maher, currently chairman of the Munster Council, and at left full was Kieran Carey. Martin Lalleen on the right, Michael Burns. Ilor Ween, Queenie Vidal, Tony Wall. The Lord Parker, Theo English, one of the three wise men of modern times. Elena Clash, Brunson, Hamana, Michael McRoach. Then at the Larry Kiley. Another very wise man, Michael Babs Keating. And the third apostle, secretary of the Munster Council, Joni Neelan. Inside, John Mackie McKenna. And Sean McLaughlin, who was never far from goal, Sean McLaughlin. Jamie DeRoy, could this Nadine be low Shasta Cooney, the classical halfback, Len Gaynor. Michael Lonergan. And the great Liam Devaney. Goalkeeper in 71 in the start of the early years, Peter O'Sullivan. Pat Ryan. playing the song, those were the days, Boulevard Cork Croke, the Vashti Kibrador.
Well, as the Tipperary Jubilee team of 1964 and 65 leave the pitch at Croke Park, we turn our attention to the senior game. Now, the Cork senior players were watching that minor match, of course, very interested in the last 10 minutes of it, but they had to leave it, of course, to make preparations for their own game. And here are the players heading down to the dressing room area. This is in around the back of the Hogan stand as they head down to their dressing room to tug out and get ready for the fray. So there's the scene at Croke Park, a scene that we're going to leave just for a few moments because we're taking a commercial break. Come back to us right after that.
Tried to get off games.
Yes, those old boogie-woogie bugle boys themselves, the Artane Boys band, past and present, all 120 members. Well, after the weeks of waiting, we're finally here at the All-Ireland final. Will it be Cork, will it be Galway? All that will be decided in the next 2 or 3 hours. Getting the last views from the various camps, down visiting the dressing room area has been Jim Carney. Perhaps he can fit us in now on what the feeling is like down there.
A tremendous din, a lot of excitement, tremendous atmosphere here at the Players' Tunnel. They'll be coming out here shortly, but inside in the dressing room, things are relatively quiet now. In the Cork dressing room, there was great excitement when they heard about that sensational comeback in the minor match. Everybody in the senior dressing room very anxious, very interested in what was happening in the minor match, and they were absolutely delighted for Dennis Cullen and Pat and all the lads involved in the team in the background. Now they're in concentrating on their own game. Gerald McCarthy very tense, very anxious. Father O'Brien more relaxed, to smile for everybody. Jim Cashman came in early enough. Kevin Hennessy came in early. He wasn't smiling, Kevin. He looked a little anxious. Jim Cashman had a smile for everybody. He was in great form. I never saw a player as relaxed or as confident. Everybody in the Cork dressing room fit and well, all in great form, all dying to get on with the game. There's a spirit of camaraderie in there. There's a nice, relaxed, light air in there. I'm sure it'll get just a little harder, more tense in the next few minutes. In the Galway dressing room, well, they had no excitement for their minors this year. They weren't in it, so they could concentrate totally on the job in hand, and things were good in there too. Michael Coleman's finger, there was a little anxiety about that, but I believe he has thrown off the strapping. Lawrence Larkin, the vice chairman of the hurling board, told me that he wouldn't bother with it, although they hadn't made a final decision on that. Tracy's hamstring, Sean Tracy, the full-back, they're not that worried about that either. Just a couple of niggly little things here and there. The players are stretching, they're getting ready, they're testing their hurleys all around the floor of the dressing room. They're swinging away there. They're imagining that they're out here already. They'll be out soon. The verdict then really is that both teams are relaxed. They're ready, they're fit and they're well. There's an air in there, not of banter or anything, but a quiet sense, a relaxed sense. Everybody's smiling. Just some of the players a little more anxious than others, a little more tense. But generally, it's the nicest scene, the happiest scene, the most relaxed scene I think I've ever witnessed in dressing rooms before an All-Ireland hurling final. Back to you.
Okay, a relaxed scene then, says Jim Carney down in the dressing room area. Let's go back again to the Artane Boys Band and hear some more music from them. Magnificent rendition of Puccini's beautiful and evocative Nessun Dorma. None shall sleep. Well, I'm sure few slept in Galway and Cork last night, worrying and wondering about the outcome of this game, the All-Ireland Final 1990. We'll be back after this break.
You're working hard, you do your best. Sometimes it's not enough.
Well, Maggie,
Mick?
how's the starlet going?
Ah, great. Are you going into town tonight?
Remember you're locking up, Joe.
Some can still remember. For some of us, it's only May. For some of us, September.
Da, could I take the Corolla? Don't be annoying me, Joe.
Life's for real. It puts you to the test. Life's all about the things you love. Wishing all the best.
It's ready.
Oh, lovely.
There you go.
Thanks, love.
Around the house, around the clock. Homestead brings value home.
Homestead, homestead, brings value home.
Avonmore spreadable butter is Ireland's favourite spreadable butter. Avonmore spreadable butter spreads smoothly every time. For delicious sweet and sour pork or chicken, simply add new Uncle Ben's sweet and sour sauce. Just look at those really crispy vegetables. You'll enjoy an exciting, mouth-watering meal in minutes. New Uncle Ben's stir-fry range. Perfect results every time.
The case, the twist, the crunch, the break. When you clean your teeth, do you worry about bleeding gums? No? That could be a mistake. Bleeding gums can be a sign of gum disease. Gums may recede, and in serious cases, a healthy tooth could fall out. Now, Crest has a more effective answer. A new toothpaste, Gum Health Crest. Used regularly, it'll help you take a healthy bite for life. New Gum Health Crest. Help your dentist to fight gum disease.
Have you noticed how popular Johnson's baby shampoo has become with everyone in the family? He has. Johnson's baby shampoo.
Everyone's a winner at Supermax Fast Foods. Now open at Merlin Park, Galway.
Visit the Galway Ideal Homes Exhibition and Garden Festival in Leisureland Salt Hill next weekend.
Good teamwork means winning results at Sean Loughnane, Quality Butchers, Dominic Street, Galway.
Visit Anthony Ryan's Menswear for Pierre Sangan's new autumn colours in quality knitwear.
Malcolm and Annette McConkey and the team of McDonald's Galway wish Galway hurlers every success today.
3 out of 4 Irish people don't eat enough fibre. Fact. So it's worth knowing that one bowl of Kellogg's All Bran will provide you each day with about as much fibre as 8 ripe bananas. Kellogg's All Bran, a great fibre provider.
And so the scene is set then for the 1990 All-Ireland hurling final. The crowd are here, the Artane boys band are here. Some have come further than others. Brian Keenan with us here also this afternoon. Well, the only ones missing for the moment are the stars of the show, the players of Cork and Galway, but they will be with us very shortly as well. Your big match commentator this afternoon is Ger Canning.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Just under 20 minutes to the start of the 5th ever All-Ireland hurling final meeting of Cork and Galway, with the Western county yet to record a win. But Galway hurlers this time fiercely determined to atone for last year and gain a victory they so badly want. Cork get the honour of coming out first onto Croke Park. A magnificent welcome for the Munster champions, seen as outsiders for the title, but with 8 of the team that beat Galway in the 1986 final in action. The Cork supporters, I should say, up on Hill 16, acclaiming their team, Sean O'Gorman there in the background. Ger Cunningham, the goalkeeper. Ger, who was 29 on Thursday and hoping for a belated birthday party. A sea of colour, red and white, and many other colours mixed in there as well, because there are so many flags of different nationalities. But as long as you have the little bit of red or the little bit of white in the flag, well, that seems to suffice. No hopers virtually at the outside of the Munster campaign, but led by Father Michael O'Brien, they've confounded just about everyone, this team. Indeed, but they were scarcely given a chance before the Munster final. I put it to the Cork coach that he really believed in this team, and he replied, well, as a priest, you know, Ger, I have to have faith. It was well placed. Mark Foley there coming out towards us. The tall man who'll have that intriguing battle this afternoon with Tony Keating. And now another deafening ovation for Galway. The Western fans acclaim the favourites for this All-Ireland hurling title. A Galway team featuring in the final, remember, for the 5th time in 6 years. Cyril Farrell, the team manager and coach. What a tremendous record he's had. Phelan Murphy getting the good wishes of some of the supporters down there near the dressing room area. Ollie Kilkenny here, the number 4, who gave a very sturdy semi-final performance. The flags for Galway there behind the goal at the canal end. The substitutes making their way off towards the dugout across on the far side on a splendid setting. Temperatures 21 degrees this afternoon. There's Anthony Cunningham. Michael McGrath, the player we're looking at the moment. Tense, anxious moments for the players, an opportunity to rid themselves of some of the nerves in this splendid and impressive setting. An opportunity then to take a check on the teams this afternoon in pictorial form, and we'll start with Munster champions Cork.
Cork champion. One of 7 final newcomers in the Cork team. Happily recovered from injury yet again. Long-time reliable substitute. A sub for the 86 final with Galway. One of Cork's most consistent this year. Cork's captain for the Munster final. Really shone in that win over Tipperary. Ever the man for the big occasion. Back to his very best again this year. Scorer of 2 goals and 7 points in the Munster decider. Sure to command much Galway attention today. Remembered for his goal in a million 4 years ago. On a day when Kevin also scored against Galway. He's hit 4 goals in his last 2 games.
And so we've seen the Cork team, so to Galway, have had their photographs taken. A Galway team who are rated as favourites by many people, many experts deciding that they have the class, and they certainly have the experience. And in Joe Cooney here, surely they've got an ace. Let's take a look at the Galway team then.
Galway's penalty goal scorer in the final against Cork. One of 2 Galway newcomers to final day. Named an All-Star last year. The team's regular left corner back. One of the finest wing backs.
disturbed in that position, even though many Galway fans would prefer to see him play, I think, at either cornerback or out in the half-back line. Cyril Farrell, the team coach, and just a mention of his fine record. Galway has won 9 All-Ireland titles at senior, at under-21 and at minor combined, and he's been in charge of the team for 6 of those 9 titles.
Both team played as shown on the official program. 1300.
Tach den Ochterroin in Ish, agus Deshe Ger Bull Lesh na Foidne Morris Ganochto. John Moore from County Waterford, the 40-year-old official in charge of his first All-Ireland final, performing the toss. Fourth Waterford man to referee an All-Ireland hurling final, John Moore. He performed with great credit, I thought, in this year's Munster final. So the two teams being called across now by their respective captains.
Greeted by His Excellency the President of Ireland and Dr. Margaret the Hinterland, and then we will have the grand parade. The both teams now line up to greet His Excellency.
Galway meanwhile trying to avail of the opportunity to have one last word, just to reinforce the game plan and ensure that everybody's on their toes. The President meanwhile is waiting for Galway to come across so that he can meet the individual players, which, if memory serves me correct, is part of the ceremonial now since centenary year in 1984. And the Cork lads also deciding to have one last quick little meeting in the huddle. Father Michael O'Brien, widely acclaimed as a hurling coach, a most knowledgeable man. So can he work the oracle once again this afternoon? A word of good wishes to everybody. Gerald McCarthy there, his right-hand man, who is the trainer of the team. Father Michael O'Brien, who was the PP in Carrigaline in the south of Cork. So President Hillary attending his last All-Ireland hurling final in office, meeting the Cork players. Barring a replay, of course, it will be his final All-Ireland hurling final in office. And over his 14 years, he's seen 8 different counties represented in the senior final. Dickie Murphy there, John Moore, Pat Horan, one of the umpires. He's witnessed the re-emergence of Galway as a hurling power in his time in office. He's presented the McCarthy Cup to 4 different Cork captains, seen Offaly win the championship twice. Just to continue that, he's also witnessed in office the return to glory of Tipperary and seen Kilkenny wield the ultimate prize in hurling on 3 occasions, while Wexford, Limerick and Antrim have played their part in the excitement as well. I suppose if he's had a regret, it would probably be the absence of his native county Clare from the big occasion, although the Clare Miners were here last year. 1932, the last time Clare Seniors played in the final. So I suppose they're probably saying there's always next year. Just one final part of the pre-match ceremonial before the anthem, the parade of the teams in front of 64,000 cheering spectators. Almost one of the great scenes on All-Ireland final day. Galway led by Joe Cooney on the far side, Cork by Tomás Mulcahy at the culmination of the best part of a year's intensive, often grueling training. Sean O'Gorman there and Kevin Hennessy, the number 14. Training that's ensured that both limbs and mind are fine-tuned and ready for the fray this afternoon. Amateur players will remind you, those of you watching it across in Britain and in America as well, all of them who've prepared with a professional approach. Players who face back into their everyday jobs next week. Well, it'll be some time if they win. Cork and Galway hurlers at the peak of condition, who've contended with all kinds of pressure. The kinds of pressure, I imagine, that would tax the energy and resolve of highly paid athletes. It's a colourful, indeed happy setting here in Croke Park. The humour has been good all day, lots of good-natured banter between the rival fans out of the streets, out of Jones's Road, the flags waving happily, and the promise of some of the rival fans to meet a little later on, discuss it all over a glass or maybe a cup, or perhaps a sample. In style of hurling this afternoon, I think, should be worth noting as well. Cork's coaches down the years, disciples of the Mo Dírach, the direct approach based on speed and alertness, forcing the opponents to play the game in their half of the field. No great over-elaboration, the emphasis on score-getting from a variety of distances, whereas Galway's more considered style contains a mixture of Munster directness and a studied approach where use of the hand pass, the pick-up, combined with forward play, neat interpassing, setting a colleague up for a score which is usually dispatched with due haste and admirable flair. Let's hope we're in for a lot of that this afternoon. It's one of those moments I always think you wish time would just stand still for a moment so that you can savour each and every second of it. You're watching the match with us, sharing in the excitement and the build-up. I hope you feel part of a most uniquely Irish setting for a game which we all hope will be truly memorable. Joe Cooney and John Commons, the goalkeeper there. John, by the way, playing in his 4th All-Ireland final this afternoon in what is just his 11th championship match. Tony Keady. Jerry McInerney, a key part of that star half-back line. Jerry, who returned from the US 6 months ago to reclaim his Galway position. So much has been said, written and spoken about that tremendous Galway half-back line. The Cork tactics from the puck-out are going to be interesting because Jeremy Cunningham, as we all know, is very much the long puck champion. So William up to land the ball beyond the half-back line. There's something of a breeze from blowing. And a very good afternoon now to viewers of Channel 4 all across Great Britain. Welcome to the All-Ireland hurling final in this splendid setting of Croke Park. The Artane Boys Band leading the parade of the two teams around Croke Park, which is packed to capacity. The capacity now limited for safety reasons to 64,000. Cork in red, Galway in the maroon. Jim Cashman there just ahead of Brendan O'Sullivan and Kenny McCarthy. The players breaking from their grouping. O'Sullivan here, who's had a great year at club level last season, and that was the successful launching pad for a most promising career. Just one final part of this tapestry to complete. That as the fans in Croke Park stand, face the tricolour, blowing in a gentle breeze. Joe Lynch, the director of music of the Artane Boys Band, giving the salute for our national anthem, Seo Amhrán na Bhíodhán. check on the teams. Cork making 2 changes from the semi-final lineup. Teddy McCarthy back in midfield. Mark Foley is fit to resume at centre half forward. So Cork at full strength. Likewise Galway. It's a case of as you were for Galway. Anthony Cunningham and Martin Naughton substituted against Offaly are restored to the side. The band making their way off. Referee John Moore. This is a final check, 1 to 15, on how Galway will play. That great half-back line, but watch for some super forwards as well. Slight favourites Galway, seeking a 5th hurling All-Ireland and a 3rd in 4 years. Against Cork, with a rich tradition of 26 titles, the first part of a double All-Ireland triumph is their aim. It'll be Galway who'll play from right to left in the first half, backed with the aid of a slight breeze. Game is underway, the first hurling final of the 1990s. Sean McCarthy, the wing-back for Cork, one-handed, but only as far as Michael McGrath to set up a Galway chance early. Slightly off balance as he was hitting that one. Michael, who scored 4 fine points in the semi-final against Offaly. Michael Coleman under the dropping ball, but it breaks down towards Mark Foley, prodded forward towards John Fitzgibbon. A chase on here. Coleman going back, missed by Dermot Fahy. Sean Tracy coming up from his full-back position, but it set up a chance. A goal by Kevin Hennessy! A goal after 48 seconds by Kevin Hennessy! One of the fastest goals in an All-Ireland final. John Fitzgibbon prodded it forward. It was missed by the full-back, and Kevin Hennessy rifled it in. So a confident start by the Munster champions. Galway set to reply with Joe Cooney over the bar. Cooney gives the leadership, and he struck that one over with effortless ease. The omens are certainly good. Teddy McCarthy taking it with his left hand. Back in the team, grouped well by Martin Naughton. He follows up, however. Tries the shot from way out the field. 2 attacks for Cork, 2 scores. Teddy McCarthy's first attempt at a score, 1-1 to a point. The Cork flags flying, encouraging their team. Happy with their lead. Pat Malone going in there to challenge Brendan O'Sullivan, played outside, but Anthony Cunningham realising that he was being a little bit ambitious with that pass. Kieran McGuckin will be the taker of the sideline ball. Linked with Cork's 1985 minor All-Ireland winning team. Pete Finnerty. Much expected from him this afternoon. Delivers a good ball down towards the end of Ryan. Missed by John Considine. Ger Cunningham. Ger Fitzgerald under it. Wins the first ball that comes his way against Jerry McInerney. Ollie Kilkenny. It comes off the legs of Tomas Mulcahy. Back by Kilkenny again as far as Joe Cooney. And pass to Pat Malone. From the middle of the field. Galway forfeiting a second chance. Well, he was being particularly ambitious. Scorer of 3 excellent points in Galway's last All-Ireland win 2 years ago, all of them long range as well. Brendan O'Sullivan breaking it down towards Ger Fitzgerald. Towards Kevin Hennessy. That goal will have done him a power of good. He'd only scored 2 points in the previous 2 matches, both of those from frees. Johnny O'Sullivan fouled. Free into Cork. Well, as Tony O'Sullivan makes his way in towards the 20-metre line, Kevin Hennessy is making his way out from the full forward line, he being the regular Cork free taker this season. "50 metres out. Light breeze blowing into his face as he hits it. It's put it wide. The chance goes a-begging. Cork remaining in front, remember, 1-1 to a point for Galway. Kieran McGuckin trying to hold off his man. Anthony Cunningham getting in the pass inside. Whipped away by McGuckin once again. First time hurling by Cork. Up towards John Fitzgibbon. Player who set up the goal for Kevin Hennessy. Pursued by Dermot Fahy. Turns on his right-hand side. He's put it over the bar. Having a very, very good season indeed, John Fitzgibbon. Player who was omitted for the final 4 years ago, having played in the earlier stages of that championship. Cork winning the early exchanges in their own half-back line. Tony O'Sullivan against Tony Keady. The dancing legs of Tony O'Sullivan. Pass inside, followed up. Tomas Mulcahy, the team captain, causing consternation. Sean Tracy equal to it. Breaks back down to him. A good clearance by Tracy out of defence. But the Cork attack applying pressure on that Galway full back line already in the opening 6 minutes of this match. And a misunderstanding there. Two players getting in one another's way, Tony Keady and Pat Malone. Galway have really yet to settle down in this game. A greater urgency coming from Cork in these opening minutes. Ollie Kilkenny, who won't want to see Cork settle down too much into this match. You remember what happened in this year's Munster final. Ian O'Ryan on his right-hand side, sun into the eyes of Ger Cunningham. Good clearance under pressure. Pete Finnerty, Michael Coleman calling for it outside. Cork trying to close down their men. That's Brendan O'Sullivan. What a battle the two number 8s are having in the opening minutes. This is Tony O'Sullivan back, helping his defence. Sean O'Gorman. Lengthy clearance up to the 20-metre line between full back and full forward. Well taken in the arms of Sean Tracy. Settling down to his task now. Sean McCarthy. Good hoop. Martin Naughton, however, trying to follow it up, is supported by Pat Malone. The rapid delivery of the hand pass. Dennis Walsh lets it break off him, and Ger Cunningham coming from his goal to make the clearance. Well, in the intensity of the run, Michael Coleman colliding with an official over there. Ooh, that hurt. Marvellous opening to this game. Michael Coleman. Brendan O'Sullivan, Joe Cooney. From fully 45 metres out, he was being sublimely optimistic, but rewarded accordingly. And Joe Cooney has got both of Galway's scores. Well, Cork have certainly set out their game plan. They're trying to unsettle this Galway team. Galway now are responding, however. Here's Michael Coleman again. Sean O'Gorman stopping it from Michael McGrath. He certainly has become an invaluable member of this Galway midfield. Really works tirelessly in their calls. Pete Finnerty. Delightfully cut off by Finnerty. Beautifully. Almost all the way, but stopped on the goal line by Ger Cunningham. Brilliantly taken into the arms. Anthony Cunningham Looking for Cooney from a tricky angle, and he's got another one. The man they can always depend upon in a crisis situation. Not that there were anything near a crisis situation at this stage, but just to make sure that Cork didn't open up too much of a lead. Two points the margin. Directed towards Mark Foley and Tony Keady. Who's going to win that battle? Tony Keady says it's going to be me this afternoon. Great solo run, good jink, and a lovely score. It's a one-point game. Keady scored 5 points the last time these sides met in the championship in '86. The Galway fans a good deal happier now. That was really a classic score by Tony Keady, having taken it in the air himself. The jersey being held, the jersey that of Ger Fitzgerald. Having his best year really since 1986. So Kevin Hennessy missed an earlier one. This is about 3 metres nearer the target. This time he steers it over the crossbar. Goal and a point now for Kevin Hennessy. Joe Cooney there against Jim Cashman, and he's doing everything well so far. Well, just as I say it, there can't have been too much of that. The umpire had a really good look at it. Two great pals as well, Joe Cooney and Jim Cashman. They played together on the All-Star team in Toronto earlier this year. But he's there rallying his team. Mark Foley trying to get more into the game. Dermot Fahy. Kieran McGuckin pressing forward. This is Foley. Brilliantly taken by Jerry McInerney. Typical stylish play by Jerry McInerney. Likewise by Jim Cashman. Towards Mark Foley. Breaks over his head. Fahy again. First time. Long delivery. Sean O'Gorman allowing the fullback Dennis Walsh to come across and effect his clearance. It's Michael Coleman batting it down to the waiting Joe Cooney. He's everywhere for Galway. From way out the field, inside his own 65-metre line virtually. But that becomes Galway's fourth wide. Cork with just one. 12 minutes gone. Well judged by Pat Malone, but he's left it there. Prodded forward, but only as far as Tony Keady. Now making his presence felt. Ollie Kilkenny likewise. Hand passed outside towards Jerry McInerney, but Teddy McCarthy was in quickly. Kilkenny, did he pick the ball off the ground? The referee said yes. Free to Cork. The Galway fans not agreeing with the referee's decision. So Ollie taking up his position there on the Galway goal line. Two points between the teams, remember. Kevin Hennessy, the free taker. He's got another. So a goal separating the sides, and there are 13 minutes gone in the first half. Aimed again towards Joe Cooney. He is making an impression in these opening minutes with 3 points so far. Michael Coleman travelling, taking too many steps. I'm not too sure this particular gentleman agrees with that verdict. Jim Cashman. Breeze into his face, remember, in this first half. From his own 65-metre line, high up into the air. And wide. Joe Cooney again under the dropping ball in this non-stop All-Ireland final. Tony O'Sullivan racing across here with Pete Finnerty. Michael Coleman once more. Always in there to pick up half chances that might come his way. No lane. Set up brilliantly. And it's high and it's over the bar. A point by No Lane. I think he was making his mind up, and I have an idea he was going for a goal. He seemed to settle himself. And the shrug of the head there would indicate that he's not too pleased with the way it went over the bar. That's where he settled himself. The pick-up. Oh, definitely he was going for a goal. He gets a point, however. 2 points between the teams. Cork in front. Brendan O'Sullivan. Towards Ger Fitzgerald. It reaches Kevin Hennessy against Sean Tracy. Hennessy is doing well against Tracy, and that's ominous for Galway. He's got another point, a goal and 3 points. He's also picked up a little injury. So once again a goal separating the teams, and Kevin Hennessy not looking too pleased with himself. Maybe we can have another look at this, having beaten Sean Tracy. That was the simplest of tap-overs for him. Obviously in the challenge before that he received a facial injury. Mark Foley towards Tomás Mulcahy. Jerry McInerney for Galway. Lovely darting run. Whipped forward towards Michael McGrath, not getting too much service so far in this game. Sean O'Gorman. Dermot Fahy, well caught. Down towards Ian O'Ryan, batted clear however. Sean O'Gorman. Long lengthy ball again. Fahy under the dropping slutter, and it's gone for a sideline ball. Well, we've had 11 scores so far. What's been a very entertaining final. Picked up here by Ger Fitzgerald, and it's over the bar. Ger Fitzgerald gets his first point this afternoon, easing Cork ahead into a 4-point lead. Sean O'Gorman clearing his lines. This is Martin Nocton. Angling for the shot, Nocton, brilliantly high and over the bar. A great score by Martin Nocton at Turlough 4. Pinning it back to a 1-goal differential once again. The injured player is Pete Finnerty. It's been fast and furious so far, this match. And I think the Galway mentors are a little concerned about the way their defence is shaping up. And that's Pat Higgins, who is quite capable of playing in the full back line. This is the injury picked up by Finnerty as he was contesting that ball over there with Tony O'Sullivan. And he came rather awkwardly. It was an accidental challenge. Well, accidental it may have been, but foul nonetheless, the referee decides. Michael McGlynn there, the team doctor, attending to the injured Pete Finnerty. Concerned about their marvellous right half back. Finnerty the free taker. Keady, I should say, the free taker. Touched out by Jim Cashman. Down it comes to Pat Malone, dangerously inside to Cooney. Well, there was a gap for once, there is again. Still still Joe Cooney, and he's kicked it in. It's the equaliser. A goal for Galway. 19 minutes gone in the first half, and the sides are level. Well, what a game he's playing. A goal and 3 points, all from play. This was the kicked effort past Ger Cunningham. Puck Malone. Teddy McCarthy not making much headway. This is Éanna Ryan yet to score. Trying to put that batter right in this glorious spell for Galway as they hit the front. Galway taking the lead for the first time in the match after 20 minutes. Tony Keating. Sean McCarthy driving it forward. Comes back to Tony Keating. This is a very good spell for Galway. They've weathered whatever pressure Cork have put at them so far. They've come back strongly. And in Cooney they've found a great leader of the attack. Tony O'Sullivan blocked down by the recovered Keith Finnerty to Joe Cooney on the 45-metre line. This looks like being Keating's or Cooney's final. Early stages to talk about anybody's final, but so far it's the final of Joe Cooney. Teddy McCarthy can't hold on to it. It reaches Joe Cooney once again. Trying to open up the play down towards Noel Lane. Dennis Walsh following him. The ball lands on the sideline into Éanna Ryan. Back to Martin Naughton. Just inside the 45-metre line, but that has tailed away despairingly towards the right-hand side of the posts. One of the many interested spectators, Brian Keenan. Michael Coleman getting under that ball, but it runs on towards Tomas Mulcahy. From Fitzgibbon trying to prod it forward. Tony Keating can't hold on to it. Strong, forceful play again by Michael Coleman. Delivering the hand pass towards Martin Naughton, but there was a push. The referee was quick to spot the infringement. That's where the free is from, he says. Jostling for positions inside. Tony O'Sullivan having switched into corner forward. And that has tailed away. Cork with 3 wides. Galway with 5 wides. A warm, sticky afternoon here at Croke Park. The catch made by Teddy McCarthy here. You have to wonder whether Cork will make a switch on the marking duties assigned for the player on Joe Cooney. It's Jim Cashman at the moment. That's Dermot Fahy settling down well now, gaining in confidence. Matthew McGrath really coming way out to make some room for himself and set up an angle for Noel Lane. Oh, it's a good-looking shot and it's gone over the bar. Brilliantly struck. And again he looks a little unhappy with himself, feeling that maybe he might, with a little bit of luck, have had a goal. Galway fans happy enough to see it sailing in there into the path of Noel Lane, whipping on it well. Beautifully cut. 3 points the difference. Galway have turned it around completely. So a free for Cork, which Kevin Hennessy is ready to take. midway between the 65 and the 45-metre line in the Galway half of the field. With 24 minutes gone in the first half. That's one that Cork needed to give them an injection of confidence. They've seen the game slip away from them in the last couple of minutes, but still only 3 points the margin. Jim Cashman. Here's Teddy McCarthy. Kicked back in by Pat Malone, out by Sean McCarthy towards Tony O'Sullivan. In marked by Ollie Kilkenny. Exchanging blows just for a moment off camera as Jerry McInerney plays it into the clear, but Sean O'Gorman is there for Cork. Dermot Fahy, it sails over his fingers in towards Kevin Hennessy, still being marked by Sean Tracy, remember. Back comes Fahy. Gets in a good clearance towards Anthony Cunningham. Runs on towards Michael McGrath. This is Cunningham once again, lifting the tempo of the game. Pat Malone beside him, trying the shot. A little bit of speculation on his part. Hasn't had the best of success in finals so far. Hasn't scored today in this match and has only managed 1 point in his 3 previous finals. That was against Kilkenny 3 years ago. O'Sullivan, ever a player to be able to lift this Cork attack. Teddy McCarthy. A good-looking shot from Teddy McCarthy, getting back into the game again and getting his second point. He's cut it back to a 2-point difference, to the delight of these Cork fans. Breaks on towards Michael McGrath. Pursued over there by Sean O'Gorman. Noel Lane looking very fit and alert. A high shot, and that's another beautiful point from Noel Lane. What a great servant of the game Noel Lane has been. Well, he started the 1980s on a high, now hoping to start the 1990s in a similar fashion. Keating. He really hasn't given Mark Foley much of a chance in this match so far. Michael McGrath down towards Noel Lane, causing some problems, getting the scores. Dennis Walshire facing his own goal. Dispossessed by Cooney, leaving the pass inside, but it's not going to count. The goal by Ian O'Ryan doesn't count. The referee had whistled up. It's a free on the 20-metre line. The foul was on Cooney. Something somewhat similar happened in the minor final. The referee had blown the whistle as the foul on Cooney here was committed, and there was no advantage for Ryan. Joe Cooney with a goal and 4 points to his credit this afternoon. Make it a goal and 5. Restoring Galway's 4-point advantage. McGuckin loses out, assisted however by Brendan O'Sullivan. Michael Coleman again aimed down towards the very much informed Noel Lane. Spills from his grasp however. He certainly is causing problems. It certainly has been Lane and Cooney the real danger men this afternoon from a Galway point of view. They have that aid of the breeze in the opening 35 minutes. Sean Tracy here. Teddy McCarthy. Grass is just a tiny bit on the high side, it seems to me. The foul is on Teddy. Free to Cork, and Jim Cashman is coming from his centre-half back position to take it. playing in the position that his brother Tom played in when Cork was last in opposition against Galway in an All-Ireland final. He's missed it. The wind again carries it away, and that's happened a number of times. Happened when Kevin Hennessy was taking it as well. A switch in the Cork full back line. Sean O'Gorman is now in marking Noel Lane. Dennis Walsh is out at cornerback. That's John Considine. Here's Tomás Mulcahy. Blocked down brilliantly by Tony Keady, who's lost the stick, trying to prevent the progress there of Teddy McCarthy. Speculatively forward, up into the corner towards John Fitzgibbon. Held away well, however, by Dermot Fahy in this, his second championship match. Dickie Murphy from County Wexford, the linesman across there, awarding the sideline ball to Dermot. Runs on towards Teddy McCarthy. Whipped into the centre, picked up however by Martin Naughton, a direct and pacey player. Good finishing as well, and he illustrates that by putting it over the bar from outside the 45-metre line. That's Martin Naughton's second point. Fully and truly recovered from injury. Inside the last 5 minutes of this first half, which has been all action. A huge score put up by Galway, 1-12, and a very impressive score by Cork as well, 1-7. Here's Joe Cooney trying to pick his spot, and he strikes it over brilliantly. Hit with unflagging composure. Very much the man of this match so far. Well, you know, we've all seen All-Ireland finals in the past where the half-time score might well be about 1-5 to 1-4, but this is a very high score they're putting up. Michael Coleman, magnificent. Certainly gaining something of an edge at midfield. Dennis Walsh now in the new position of left corner back for him. Tony Keady. Going to be Kieran McGuckin who will cut it up for Cork. Tantalisingly in, but again Keady superbly takes it away. Great centre-half back play. Pat Malone in classical pose down towards Éanna Ryan. Lobbed inside towards Martin Naughton, tried to run onto it. This is no lane. Oh, the control just left him down, and Ger Cunningham gratefully came from his goal to make a good clearance. McGrath here, pursued by Teddy McCarthy, into Martin Naughton, acute angle on the 20-metre line, and finally wide after all of that. Well, Galway so near in those attacks to getting another score. Peter Finnerty calling, pursued by Tomás Mulcahy. Sideline ball. Well, that's the position, and just about 2 minutes to go to the half-time whistle. McGuckin's cut in high, and it's run over the bar. A kind of inspirational strike that Cork has needed. John Commons with the puck out. Joe Cooney adding to it well. Intended for Noel Lane. Delightfully picked up. Cooney. Well, it might well have deserved a score. Galway really like to embellish their work, but at the same time there's so much speed in the way they deliver those balls in. I suppose the old saying, the old head for the long road, certainly applies in Noel Lane's case this afternoon. Anthony Cunningham. And they're throwing away some useful chances. Galway now with 9 wides for this opening half. Cork with 5. But they are playing with the breeze, remember, in the first half. The sun is into the eyes of the Cork goalkeeper as well in the opening 35 minutes. And as we all well know in hurling, a 5-point difference isn't a particularly big lead. But it certainly has the makings of a stirring second half. Two teams who've given everything they've got. Michael Coleman. He's certainly made an imprint in this match so far. In Orion without the hurley. Didn't stop him scoring a goal against Offaly in the semi-final. That's McGrath, and that is lobbed into the arms of Ger Cunningham. The referee signals for the end of a very exciting first 35 minutes. Kevin Hennessy, goal for Cork after 48 seconds. Cork held the early advantage, playing with great tenacity and no little style, but Galway came back in devastating fashion. A goal and 6 points, the tally credited to Joe Cooney, and Galway lead at half-time, 1-13 to Cork's 1-8.
Well, we were expecting this to be an enthralling game, but we have not been disappointed in what we've seen so far. Galway with the advantage then at half-time, but if minors went in to go by, Cork have a long way to go in this game yet, and well capable of going the road. We're going to take a commercial break. Join us again for what promises to be a great second half.
How to choose a bank, part 2.
So, here are your checkbooks, check cards, complete with
mugshot.
and your cash cards.
For 24-hour banking.
So even when you're closed, we're open.
Civilized banking. From Cork and Limerick Savings Bank.
When work feels like a jailhouse, or fuming in a hot courthouse, ooh, you gotta make it Maxwell House. Visiting the new tree house, snoozing in a cool boathouse, ooh, you gotta make it Maxwell House.
In November, Ireland's Gaelic footballers take on the mighty Australians down under. Be there with Calibre, the alcohol-free lager. Details in this week's Sunday Independent. There's the caring examiner, the daring examiner, the leisure, the pleasure, the what-to-wear weekend examiner. There's the global news examiner, local views examiner, the EEC, what's on TV, the lady sings the blues examiner. There's financial report examiner, what happened in court examiner, Doyle debates, how farming rates, and the whole wide world of sport examiner. The Cork Examiner, giving the news that extra dimension.
Pick it up, knock it back, milk a healthy handful, milk a healthy handful.
Powerful, reliable, economical. Caproven. Caproven is the mighty one you can really rely on. Just one treatment of Caproven smashes mastitis. Through 4 weeks, through 6 weeks, throughout the 8-week dry period, right up to calving. Nothing else gives all-round, longer-lasting protection. Caproven, the long-lasting dry cow protection. 40 all-time greats of GAA, now available only with Caproven and Nilzan Plus. Malcolm and Annette McConkey and the team of McDonald's Galway wish Galway hurlers every success today.
The affordable way to tile in style is with Classic Tiles, Tuam Road, Galway.
Power World. Massive electric sale is now on at Tuam Road, Galway.
Foster Court, Galway and Woodfield, Barna Road. Two other outstanding O'Malley construction developments.
This is the only E you'll find in pure butter, because pure butter is 100% natural.
Welcome back again. What a first half that's been. Galway leading 113 to 1-8 at half-time. Right now, the music and entertainment at half-time is being provided by Tipperary's finest, Louise Morrissey.
Friends of my youth, as we rambled along amongst the green mossy flags and white flowers, then to an evening sun sings in the west, sheds its golden light over the sea. The maid with her lover, the white daisies breast, on the banks of my own lovely Lee. The maid with her lover, the white daisies breast, on the banks of my own lovely and now for all our Galway friends at home and all over the world. Galway Bay. If you ever go across the sea to Ireland, then maybe at the close of your day, you can sit and watch the moon rise over Dublin, and watch the sun go down on Galway Bay, just again to hear the rippling of the trout stream. The women in the meadows making hay, and to sit beside a turf fire in a cabin, and watch the barefoot gossames as they fade. And if there's going to be a life hereafter, somehow I'm sure there's going to be. I will ask my God to let me make my head in that land across the Irish Sea.
Yes, some gentle music there to settle down the crowd after what has been a really exciting and hectic first half. Let's see what the panel think about that. The panel are today Donal O'Grady, part of the Cork team 1984, and Tipperary's captain from last year, Bobby Ryan. Donal, Cork made an absolutely fabulous start to that game. It was the kind of start that they wanted.
Great start, Michael, goal in a couple of points and looked very good for about 10 minutes. But then Galway took over completely. You'd have to sit back really and admire them. But I think there's hope for Cork. The midfield was out of it, their half back line was out of it, and their half forward line. But at the same time,
here's that goal, Donald, and this was Kevin Hennessy's shot that really set up Cork with a great start. But a couple of gaps in that Galway defence now. That we worried about their full back line going into this game, and it was exposed there.
Well, it was a great flick from John Fitzgibbon from the left. There was two Galway players, and he flicked it across, and Kevin controlled it very well. Slipped in by John Collins' foot, which was a great start for Cork, the start they wanted, and it egged them on in the whole great for 5 minutes. 10 minutes and then Galway took over. I mean, but at the same time, they're only 5 points behind, having been completely out of it for 25 minutes of the game.
Well, Bobby, you had encouragement for Cork minors when things did not look too good at half-time, but it has to be said, as that half went on, Galway looked to be getting better and better.
That's right, and even bringing the balls out of defence, they moved the ball much quicker. They linked up with their forwards in midfield. I think Galway have been on top of midfield right throughout the game, and Teddy McCarthy hasn't, I don't think he's produced it on the day, and I think they're going to need a bigger push from Teddy and, at the middle of the field to try and break even.
Mind you, Bobby, Galway needed the goal they got, the goal that came from Joe Cooney, who's been their star so far, because up to that goal, well, they were just about hanging in there.
That's right, it was a superb piece of play, because when you see this, Joe actually got the ball. I think that his experience carried him through. He gets it here, and he hasn't got it yet.
This is Pat Malone setting up the move for him with the flick in.
But now, Joe, great stop by Dennis Walsh. Yeah. Catches it here. Now, another guy would probably have maybe had a shot. He was completely boxed up, left foot, and, it was a brilliantly taken goal. Less experienced players would have missed that chance. Sure.
Dobby, talk to us about this battle between Joe Cooney as a centre-back yourself and Jim Cashman. Now, Cashman is obviously one of the key players in the Cork team, but Cooney's been running riot in this first half.
He has, but really, to be honest about it, I can sympathise with Jim Cashman. He's not getting any support from his flankers. The ball is going very well for Joe, but Jim actually is playing quite well, I thought. He's with Joe on the dropping ball, but Joe was just running onto the loose ball, and he's playing superbly well. But Jim isn't getting the support that he deserves from the guys around him. I think it's a big problem for Jim Cashman and for Cork.
Well, the teams are making their way back out onto the pitch again for the second half. Before we go back to Ger Canning, Donald, looking at this second half, talking about what we've been talking about with Jim Cashman, I talked to Tom Cashman last week. He envisaged a situation like this where Cooney might be playing well and that Jim would have to be reorganised, redeployed or something. How do you see Cork play this second half now?
I think Cork will probably start as they started and try and get a lot tighter on the Galway midfield and on the Galway half-backs. As Bobby said, the half-backs are coming out unchallenged. The midfielders, Michael Coleman, Pat Malone, are winning ball unchallenged. Cork will have to start putting the pressure on around the middle, and the half-ball will have to work a lot harder. Whether you're winning ball or not, you must be harassing the whole time, so that the Galway half-backs, midfielders, can't pick out the forwards. As Bobby said, it's easy to play superb plays on the forward and getting a great supply, and that's what's happening with Galway.
OK, Donald, Bobby, thank you very much for the moment. Well, as you can see, teams are ready for action in the second half. Galway lead by 5 points. Let's rejoin our match commentator, Ger Canning.
No changes so far, it appears. Just having a quick look to see whether they're positional switches. Tomas Mulcahy, by the way, has had a change of position. Right half forward, Ger Fitzgerald now in the corner. Second half poised to get underway. John Moore from County Waterford. First Waterford official for 45 years to handle an All-Ireland hurling final. Cork playing from right to left for the second half. Same pairing at midfield. The jostling for positions at the start of this second half. Remember, it's 113 to 1-8. Galway the leaders. Tony O'Sullivan to set up the first attack of this second half. Stopped by Dermot Fahy. Out towards Anthony Cunningham, taking it in his stride. Going past Kieran McGuckin. Ger Cunningham making the save. Always signalling their intentions. Good catch by Mark Foley. Now can Cork get him into the game? Lobbed inside toward John Fitzgibbon. A noted goal poacher. Comes down. A good chance. Has gone a begging. Fitzgibbon again. Well, the chance was there for just a minute for Ger Fitzgerald. It's gone for a 65. Fitzgibbon very much the man involved in that attack. Ger Fitzgerald had the opportunity when that ball came back, but came back badly for him. Fitzgibbon then followed up. Came off the defender. Off Dermot Fahy. Jim Cashman to take the 65 for Cork. Trailed by 5 points. Lobbed in. Keady getting it out. Followed up here by Pete Finnerty. Towards Michael McGrath. Dennis Walsh watches that as it comes off his stick down to Kieran McGuckin. High one inside towards Kevin Hennessy. Hennessy with the ball in his hands. A goal opportunity perhaps. It's stopped by John Commons brilliantly on the goal line, and it's gone over the sideline for another 65. That was an excellent save by goalkeeper John Commons. He's made some very good saves in All-Ireland finals in the past. Might feel a concern or two about the goal that went by him in the opening minute, but he did well on this occasion. Down it came, and Commons was there to get the second save as well. Jim Cashman with his second 65 of the half, which is just 2 minutes old. Failing to provide the opening point, however, of the second 35 minutes. Jim Cashman then against Joe Cooney. It breaks down to Michael McGrath. McGrath looking for a score, and McGrath provides the first point of the second half, his first point in the game. So it's a 6-point difference once again. The man the Galway fans affectionately call Hopper becomes the 5th Galway forward to score in this match. Breaks out to Pat Malone, the midfielder trying to set up Jerry McInerney in a typical burst and run out of defence. Pursued by Kevin Hennessy. Still McInerney, tremendous skill. Galway fans will want to deliver the pass. It reaches Martin Naughton. And Naughton was fouled, and that's going to be a free for Galway. The advantage not applied. Jerry McInerney, the one who set all of that up with that darting run out of defence. So, Joe Cooney. Well, that's the first that's gone away from Joe Cooney this afternoon. Inevitably, the signature in this final so far with a goal and 6 points. That goal, just looking at it again at half-time, reminds me that he might well be wanted by the Galway footballers before the season restarts. Michael Coleman. Dermot Fahy getting the pass forward. Pete Finnerty. Not hit so well on his left-hand side, but it reaches Joe Cooney. Stopped by Dennis Walsh. Michael Coleman. Oh, a bad pass by Michael Coleman, but he follows it up. Things going very nicely for Galway, and this is Anthony Cunningham, the only one of the forwards yet to score, and he's put it right. The two men who had scored in the first half, McGrath and Cunningham, have now scored at the start of the second half, and Galway enjoy a 7-point lead. Here's Keady. Breaks down to Pat Malone, the industrious midfield player, up towards Anthony Cunningham, whose confidence will be lifted considerably, I'm sure, by the score. Now playing at corner forward with Hopper McGrath back at right half forward. So the sliotar close up with about 2.5 inches of grass surrounding it. Pete Finnerty cutting it up delightfully. Today seeking another All-Ireland medal to go with the ones he won in 87 and 88. Jim Cashman with a good clearance down towards Mark Foley. Lobbed into John Fitzgibbon. Having to come out to contain that ball. This is Tomás Mulcahy, 45 metres out, providing Cork's first point of the second half. The first point for Tomás Mulcahy. Cork with a switch in their half-forward line. Mark Foley has been taken off Tony Keady. He's now on Jerry McInerney at right half-forward, and it is Ger Fitzgerald who's switched in on top of Keady, or Tomás Mulcahy, I should say. Anthony Cunningham trying to link up inside here with Eanna Ryan. Eanna, who spoiled in the first half, gave Galway the lead on the 20th minute. A lead they have not surrendered since then. Shawnee McCarthy, Michael Coleman standing in isolation in midfield, way out, and he's put it over the bar. Well, a remarkable score coming in a moment of intuitive skill from Michael Coleman, endearing himself to these Galway fans at the canal end. Finnerty and Keady leaving it behind to Tomás Mulcahy. Takes a tumble, tripped by Dermot Fahy on the 20-metre line. The number 2 conceding the free as the two wing backs, Finnerty and Keady, following the ball all the way, collided in their efforts to get it. This is the incident in replay. So free on the 20-metre line. Kevin Hennessy with his side behind. I wonder would he consider going for a goal in this, the 7th minute of the second half. He's content with a point. That's a goal and 4 points now in the match for Kevin Hennessy. Joe Cooney unable to hold on to that ball. It reaches Martin Naughton. The two wing forwards coming more and more into this game for Galway in the second half. And Martin Naughton has now got a 3rd point to add to the 2 he scored in the opening 35 minutes. So the Galway fans, I'm sure, dreaming about taking the McCarthy Cup back west of the Shannon yet again. It will be the 3rd time in 4 years, remember. Tomás Mulcahy now in there against Tony Keady, but it's Jerry McInerney who realises that the man in the centre of the half-back line might be in a bother, coming across to make the clearance to Michael Coleman, steadying himself. Long ball, goalkeeper having to come from his goal line and be absolutely secure. He's driven it way up into the air, the breeze carrying it on. Runs on towards Tomás Mulcahy, in the clear, a Cork goal perhaps, yes! 4 points the margin yet again. Tomás Mulcahy, a goal after 9 minutes of the second half. He got that goal in a million in the 86 final against Galway. He came in well and drove it in beyond John Cummins. Waiting for the breaking ball was Mulcahy. This is the score which Cork fans will delight in seeing. It's brought them back into the match. Now Galway will have to respond. They lead by 4 points. They really have been dominating this match for most of the game. So a test of their character and resolve once again. Joe Cooney, the free taker. He's put it wide. Galway a little profligate when it comes to the matter of taking their chances. They've missed 11 wides for Galway, 6 for Cork. But the all-important matter of scores sees Galway ahead by 4 points. That's the position 10 minutes into the second half. Ger Fitzgerald claiming it might be a Cork ball. Pat Malone incensed, claiming it should be a Galway ball. Cork get the verdict. Shawnee McCarthy. This is Brendan O'Sullivan. Stopped by Pat Malone. Runs out towards Tony O'Sullivan. Cork, by the way, have David Quirk in at left half back at the moment, in place of Kieran McGuckin, as Tony O'Sullivan tries the shot, but it goes astray. And the tall Joe Rabbit, I think, is going to come in. Or is he? That is the substitute for Cork, Cathal Casey, who came in the Munster final. So in front of 63,900. A match to remember so far. Pete Finnerty up towards Noel Lane, isolated. Dennis Walsh had to be decisive. It breaks down to Martin Knockton. A goal chance for Galway now. Oh yes, it's gone wide. It's gone off the goalkeeper who's made a brilliant save. Martin Knockton had a glorious chance in the 12th minute of the second half. Watch for Ger Cunningham. He had to be brave, courageous and decisive. He got there. An injury picked up by Ger Cunningham in making that save. This was the angle as we watch Martin Knockton going forward to confront Ger Cunningham, and who'd be a goalkeeper. It came off his face. Well, if it came off his face, it should have been a 65, but the outcome seems to be a puck out for Cork. Tony Keady, great catch again by Keady. He made one particularly memorable one the first half, but he's given it away to Tony O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan has put it over the bar to cut it back to a goal difference. That's his first point of the match. It's 117 to 211. Galway leading by 3. Well, it's turned out to be a thrilling final. And Cathal Casey is coming in to replace Brendan O'Sullivan. There's Cathal Casey from St. Catherine's, the same club that Dennis Walsh comes from, up around Fermoy. And Brendan O'Sullivan, the one who goes up to the sidelines. Joe Cooney trying to set up Ian O'Ryan against John Considine. The balance of possession in this match, Galway, one would have thought, should have been further ahead, but they've had those 13 wide so far against Cork 6. It's kept Cork very much in the game. This is Ian O'Ryan. A tricky angle for Ian, just a little too tricky on this occasion as he misdirects his shot. Just a little disappointed, Ian O'Ryan, just at 1 point to show for his contribution so far. Keady, another fine catch. Rapidly played forward to Malone, up towards Anthony Cunningham. Ian O'Ryan held away, however, by John Considine. This is Martin Knockton outside the 45-metre line, in towards Noel Lane, stopped by Dennis Walsh. Cork certainly seemed to have taken some encouragement from, first of all, that goal by Tomás Mulcahy, and then that miss by Martin Knockton. To be a Cork ball. Kevin Hennessy coming out to take it. Free from the 45-metre line. Watches John Fitzgibbon here. Ball's fouled. Here's the free. Oh, he's put it wide. It could be a costly wide yet. Quarter of an hour gone in the second half. A really entertaining All-Ireland hurling final. Cork 211, Galway 117. Cathal Casey, can he make a difference at midfield? Jim Cashman doing well. Ollie Kilkenny, and that's gone wide. Good defensive play by Ollie Kilkenny, a fine durable defender, making sure that the forward wasn't getting in to get any piece of the action there. Sean Tracy, who's got quite a task against Kevin Hennessy this afternoon. Once again the fans rallying and cheering both sides, realising that the outcome of this final is very much in the balance. Anthony Cunningham, Dennis Walsh, switched back into full back for the second half, and he's doing well against Noel Lane. Lane, who really starred in the opening 35 minutes. Fitzgerald unable to keep that ball in play. It's going to be a Galway sideline ball. Cork's custodian, Ger Cunningham, who played in the 82 and 83 finals when Cork was beaten by Kilkenny but came back to win medals in 84 and 86. Ollie Kilkenny. This is Mark Foley. Sending in a high one, and he's put it over the bar. A point by Mark Foley, his first of the match. The tall Timor League man, 6'5" tall, and today playing in what is just his 6th championship match. 2 points the difference. Galway continue to be the leaders as they've been since the 20th minute of the first half. This is Joe Cooney. Pat Malone. A worrying time this for Galway, I feel. They'll have to make sure that they don't allow Cork the initiative. Cork likewise trying to press forward their advantage and take the scores and the chances that are coming their way. Once again, Mulcahy providing the leadership. A rasping shot, but it's gone wide. An exchange of words there between Tomás Mulcahy and Tony Keady. Jim Cashman bats it down. He's doing well in the second half. Tony McCarthy was ready to whip onto it, but the pass came back rather awkwardly to Anthony Cunningham. Stopped, but the ball had gone out over the sideline. The umpire decides, despite the best intentions of goalkeeper Ger Cunningham, it's a 65. So the sub has come in, and that is Tom Monaghan. Tom Monaghan, a player who replaces the midfielder Pat Malone. And I know they have great faith in this Tom Monaghan. He scored 3 points against London in the opening round of the championship, and many people felt he was hard done by to lose out for the semi. Keady to take her. It's a poor one. Michael Coleman inevitably waiting for the pieces to come his way to set up an attack for Tom Monaghan. Blocked down brilliantly by Cathal Casey. Followed up by Teddy McCarthy, yet to make a real impression in this final. Monaghan once more. Does have to press home his claims for inclusion from now on. Casey trying to kick the ball away. Cooney. It reaches Monaghan once again. That must be the third time in this attack. But finally it's gone wide. That is Galway's 6th wide of the second half and their 15th in all. Two points the difference, remember. Nearly 20 minutes gone in the second half. Jerry McInerney making another memorable catch. Jim Cashman, however, reading his intentions. Really solidly holding this half back line together, Jim Cashman. Ger Fitzgerald. Towards Kevin Hennessy, but there was no way he was going to be able to contain that pass. The game is there to be won and lost now inside the last 15 minutes. Joe Cooney. Inside towards Noel Lane. Blocked down by Jim Cashman. Cashman went back really well. Showed great commitment. Out to Tomás Mulcahy. Cork's goal scorer in the second half. Towards Kevin Hennessy, who got their goal in the first. Rounding Sean Tracy with some ease. Into Mark Foley. Oh, it's a goal! Set up Foley, and he finished with great assurance. Now it really is a test test of Galway's character and resolve. Joe Cooney blocked down by Jim Cashman. Cooney once again runs into a stern shoulder, shrugs off that shoulder, but he's put it wide. But he's very much leading on his own at this stage of the match. He had a marvellous first half in which he scored a goal and 6 points, but he hasn't scored in the second half so far. This was the goal again. Kevin Hennessy takes much of the credit, but what about that for a brilliantly slot home goal? Tom Monaghan. Worrying time for Cyril Farrell as he makes his way off the field over there, having a quick word with one of his players. On it comes to Éanna Ryan. Looking for the equaliser. It's over the bar. Galway back on level terms once again. A second point for Éanna Ryan. Oh, what a game this has really turned out to be. 22 minutes into the second half. Cyril Farrell up on his feet. The team manager, a manager has inspired them in the past, but I think at this stage he's saying, Phelim, you get up, you do something, try to rally them. Teddy McCarthy. Cork eagerly looking for another score. Can McCarthy provide it? He certainly can. 3 points for Teddy McCarthy. In attack, he's been absolutely brilliant. He's taken his 3 chances in style. Cork fans would probably wish to see him dominate a bit more in midfield. Now playing at left half forward on Peter Finnerty. Cathal Casey, the one who's taken over his role at midfield. In nips Peter Finnerty. You don't give half chances like that to Finnerty. Up towards Noel Lane. Dennis Walsh lying on the ground. Noel Lane going through. High and over the bar. A 4th point for Noel Lane in this match, and Galway have restored their lead. Back in front once again. Correction. Whoa. The tension of this occasion. It's 22 points apiece. 313, Galway's 119. Jerry McInerney can't hold on to it. It's Mark Foley going forward again. Having difficulty getting in a clear-cut shot, however. A little disappointed with himself. Cork now, however, being given chances by this Galway defence in the second half. I'm not quite sure what Gerald McCarthy and Father Michael O'Brien said to Cork at half-time, who trailed by 5 points. But now here they are level. And we have just got 11 minutes to go. Ger Fitzgerald. Tom Monaghan in there trying to restrict it with Jerry McInerney. Brilliantly again by Jerry McInerney. Up to Martin Naughton. Martin Naughton looking so pacey and so decisive, but overhitting that pass just a little bit. Cut out. Sean O'Gorman, not a good clearance. Reaches Anthony Cunningham. O'Gorman once again, taking his chance this season, showing great style. Down towards Kevin Hennessy. A brilliant catch by Sean Tracy. Closed down somewhat. Out by Ollie Kilkenny, out to the waiting Michael Coleman. Steadying himself as always. Intended for Noel Lane. It reaches Dennis Walsh instead, but Noel Lane, persistent. Showing great style, great determination. Blocked down on this occasion by Jim Cashman. This is Dennis Walsh. This is a great game. In over the heads of the half-backs, but Ollie Kilkenny is waiting. And with great determination and no little style, he gets it out. Michael Coleman follows it up. Cathal Casey for Cork. Tony O'Sullivan. Wholehearted commitment being shown by 2 sets of players. A wild pull there by Dermot Fahy and John Fitzgibbon. Penalised by the referee, who's handled this match in very impressive fashion. And the big cheer you hear in the background, which the referee is just noting, is that Brendan Linsky is in for Galway. Whenever Galway are in a crisis situation, you can depend upon them calling on the big-hearted Brendan Linsky. He's in place of Anthony Cunningham. Sides level. 9 minutes to go. Jim Cashman with this free on the 65-metre line. It's wide. So near and yet so far. The rearrangement of the Galway full forward line. Noel Lane and Brendan Linsky are playing, it seems like, twin full forwards. Jim Cashman, back it goes to Cathal Casey. Ger Fitzgerald against Jerry McInerney. They've had a great duel. Great run. The layback to Mark Foley, scorer of that goal, which brought Cork right back into it. Missed. John Fitzgibbon. It's a goal! A goal by John Fitzgibbon. His 5th goal of the All-Ireland series. A goal and a point by John Fitzgibbon. There were doubts about that Galway full-back line before the match, and Cork have punished some of the lapses that have come their way. Watch this. The defence was caught in a dither, and there was a solid finish by John Fitzgibbon. Cork lead by a goal. 8 minutes remaining. A team of no-hopers, virtually, at the start of this championship, lead the favourites. Michael Coleman, anxious to respond now quickly. Played inside towards Noel Lane. Missed, however. Picked up by Noel Lane. Dispatched outside to Ian O'Ryan. Looking for a goal. Blocked down. Sean O'Gorman was the one who got in the way, and Sean O'Gorman is the one who makes the clearance. What a pulsating All-Ireland final it is. Dermot Fahy. Beautiful hand pass inside by Tomas Mulcahy to Kevin Hennessy. The referee allows an advantage. Hennessy still going through. Inside towards John Fitzgibbon. A goal scorer just a moment to go. There's another one! Two goals by John Fitzgibbon in the place of a minute and a half. The Cork fans can barely believe it. Cork lead by 6 points. 2 clear goals. The hero of the hour, John Fitzgibbon. An amazing comeback. Behind by 5 points at half-time, but they never lost heart. If there's a turning point in this match and Cork go on to win it, I just wonder about that miss by Martin Naughton when he was going through on Ger Cunningham, shortly after Mark Foley's goal. It's not over by any manner of means. There are 6 minutes to go. Jerry McInerney, it reaches Joe Cooney, scoreless in the second half. Ian O'Ryan, it's 2 against 1 by the goalkeeper. Linsky's there too. That's 1 back for Galway. Brendan Linsky does the task, and there's a goal in it. We had a great minor match, and we're having an absolutely brilliant senior final. A lovely pass, taken in his stride, dispatched with ease by Linsky. 29 minutes gone in the second half. You have to wonder, does any team deserve to lose this final? But it's there to be won and lost now in the last 6 minutes. Cork ahead by a goal. This is Cathal Casey. Stopped by Dermot Fahy. Picked up brilliantly by John Fitzgibbon, enjoying a great spell. And Tomas Mulcahy, the team captain, has put it over the bar. Cork lead by 4 points. He's had a terrific final, the team captain. Tomas Mulcahy, the scorer of a goal and 2 points. Cork with 5 goals, Galway with 2, but there's just 1 between them, a solitary goal separating the sides, plus a point. Tom Monaghan. Oh, it's one that Galway really needed. This is a severe test of Galway's strength and resolve now. Time is running out for them. The outsiders from Cork, who looked a little jittery against Kerry in the opening round of the Munster Championship, did better against Waterford, were terrific against Tip, did enough against Antrim, and they've responded in magnificent fashion in this final. Are they about to win their 27th All-Ireland hurling title? Ollie Kilkenny sees it come down off his stick too. The waiting Jerry McInerney takes the return. Still Ollie Kilkenny going forward, restrained by Teddy McCarthy. McCarthy, who's played his part with those 3 memorable points. This is Jim Cashman. He's had a great second half. Down towards Kevin Hennessy. Cork have already put 5 goals past John Commons, and Galway in in trouble again, but Tomás Mulcahy couldn't steer it on target. The goals coming from Kevin Hennessy, 2 for John Fitzgibbon, 1 for Mark Foley and 1 for Tomás Mulcahy. And that's David Cork. Cork fans will be pleased to see his inclusion because he played well in an unfamiliar position for him during the Munster Championship at right half forward, but back now at his best position of left half back. The Cork switches have worked certainly in this game. Leading by 4 points, remember now. There are 3 minutes to go. David Cork will take the free on his own 65-metre line. Cork has certainly made the most of their chances. In again, and this is Ger Fitzgerald being restrained. The referee allows an advantage, and the ball has gone wide. Cork fans in particular will have to live on their nerves just a little bit longer. But Galway people must be absolutely devastated. They were cruising away with this match for so long. But Cork's heart and commitment was not to be denied. Now, can Galway get themselves back in the match? That's one back for Martin Naughton. There's a goal in the match. 4 points now for Martin Naughton. A good contribution. This puck out from Ger Cunningham is going to be vital. Possession now absolutely essential. Galway have to get possession here and set up an attack of their own if they're to stay in this match. John Fitzgibbon. It runs on to Tony O'Sullivan. It's looking very good for Cork as Tony O'Sullivan slots over his second point of the afternoon in this 103rd All-Ireland hurling final. 4 points the margin. Brendan Linsky trying to make his way through somehow against the tight marking Cork defence. A free on the 45-metre line. Surely they'll have to opt to lob this one in. There are 4 points between them. That's the tactic. In towards Noel Lane. It spills loose, however, and David Cork makes a good clearance. Pete Finnerty. A sideline ball for Cork. There's exactly 1 minute on my watch remaining. Remember, Cork 5-15. That's 30 points. Galway 2-20. That's 26. It's been a terrific final, full of great commitment, great skill, but as I say it, a sideline ball that wasn't of the most distinguished nature, shall we say. It gives Galway possession. And Orion allowing the free to be taken by Joe Cooney. The subs waiting with Father Michael O'Brien there on the left-hand side of the picture. What a proud man he must be just now. But tense as well, waiting as a player he admires so much. Joe Cooney takes this free. Joe content to see that one come off the top of the crossbar and over the bar. A point for him in the second half, but it's been a disappointing half really. 1-7 his tally in all. But is he to finish on the losing side? There's still time for Galway if they're good enough. Just a few seconds to go. The referee has a check on the watch. He's called time. Cork are the All-Ireland champions. A delighted Mark Foley. A delighted Tomás Mulcahy. The McCarthy Cup is on its way back to Leeside once again. The first part of a possible double has been achieved by an amazing display of heart, commitment, skill. And they win in the end by a goal, 5-15 to 2 goals and 21 points. What an All-Ireland final. Well, it's been a sweet and satisfying win, I'm sure, for the team coach, although Michael O'Brien, and the Bishop of Cloyne there, I'm sure, is very pleased indeed. But it's the players who've done it all. Tomás Mulcahy, one of the heroes this afternoon. John Fitzgibbon's 2 goals inside a minute and a half were vital after 27 and 28 and a half minutes. Frank Murphy, one of the selectors, very, very pleased with himself. Well, we have to say, not many of us, and I include myself in that, expected this team to win today's final. but they certainly have answered their critics. They've come back in devastating fashion, and that was as good an All-Ireland win as I've seen. Cork's 27th All-Ireland win. We were telling you before this match that Father Michael O'Brien has a gluashton which reads 90C27. As somebody said to me last night, if we win this All-Ireland, Father O'Brien had better get a new car for next year. Teddy, weary, delighted, elated I'm sure as well. And perhaps back in 2 weeks with the footballers. He's set to rejoin that squad very shortly. 3 points his contribution. Ger Fitzgerald facing the music, an interview we'll have maybe on the Sunday game tonight. Talking to Jim Carney. But really, it was a victory achieved against the odds. I'd go so far as to say it was one of the most remarkable of Cork's 27 wins. A triumph for all concerned, a coach with a list of achievements as long as one's arm. The patience and the judgment of the selectors, Liam O'Tuama, Frank Murphy, Dennis Hurley, associated with many great sides, Bishop Buckley there, auxiliary Bishop of Cork, a hurling man and a pleased man I'm sure, and Martin Coleman, the goalkeeper in the 70s, a selector as well, along with their genial trainer Gerald McCarthy. The message to be taken, I think, from this final seems never underestimate Cork in September in Croke. Down in the dumps last year, but scaling the peaks in 1990. And now the Corkonians must begin to wonder whether that double of hurling and football is on once more. It was last achieved by Cork in 1890. That's a final we're also looking forward to, a final you'll be able to share with us live in 2 weeks' time. Cork v Meath. That should be another great game. This has certainly been a great one. Tomás Mulcahy, who got that goal 9 minutes into the second half. To add to the point, he contributed as well. A Glen Rovers man. Won a county title in Cork last year. And now in the happy position of going up to receive the Liam McCarthy Cup, named after another Cork man. But you have to wonder about Galway. They must be absolutely shell-shocked and shattered. They look to have that final one. They were playing so well for so much of the game, but they missed an awful lot of chances. Cork did their homework well, did some necessary running repairs to the team along the way. Ger Cunningham here certainly had another great game by his standards. Watch us now as the cup is about to be presented by GAA President John Dowling.
In the wall, they're fair coughing in you. Tom on weird. This the Homahori of Rock Park. It's in Feha. I mean, the Hanwa, I was the Han Sport Tour. It is my great pleasure to congratulate Cork on winning the All-Ireland title here today. I think that all of you will agree with me that this has been one of the greatest occasions ever in our park here. I would like and sincerely congratulate Cork. It was marvellous hurling, marvellous sportsmanship, and I feel that both teams, Cork and Galway, really deserve a tremendous round of applause here today. This was hurling at its best, hurling at its very best, hurling that was so sporting that one would love to see it again tomorrow. But that cannot be. There has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. So let us salute Cork on their magnificent win. But remember, let us also salute the men from Galway who helped provide such a magnificent spectacle. Well done, Galway. We're proud of you. Our games necessarily need no officials, and I want to say thanks to the referee, the umpires, the linesmen for a marvellous job of work. Also to all who helped to make this occasion possible. So, Arif, Bogart and Cormac, Abdulhamid and Coran Ertamos.
It's a very proud moment indeed for Tomás Mulcahy, captain of Cork. The cup goes back to Lee's side for the first time in 4 years. Galway has yet to beat Cork in a final.
Uachtarán Hiran, Uachtarán Cumann Lucas Gwyl, Táin an Arson, an Conshaw a Glacha, a son Fern Cúte Cork. While I'm being while Fern Galway, I hope they have on sport doing enough. President of Ireland, President Cumann Lucas Gwyl, and people of Cork, we've done it! I'd like to thank a few people on behalf of the team, because since last October we're on the road to bringing back the McCarthy Cup to Cork, and we've achieved it. I'd like to thank our selectors, Martin Coleman, Liam O'Toole and Dennis Hurley, Frank Murphy, and above all I'd like to thank two people, Gerald McCarthy and Father Michael O'Brien. After this, he might be canonised as Saint Father Michael. I'd like to pay tribute to a gallant Galway team. They've had a bit of a luck in finals, but we came up here today with one thing in mind, and that was to win. So I'd like to have 3 cheers for Galway. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! And to the people of Cork, I'd like to thank you for your support in and out. And don't worry, we'll be back here again in a fortnight's time to complete the double.
Emotional speeches. John Dowling, I think, said it all as president of the GAA. It was a credit to both teams. Father Michael O'Brien extremely pleased with his team as he watches them now make their way up here. Jim Cashman, he settled down. He had a really tough task on his hands, but he played a blinder. Tomas Mulcahy supervising the action. That's Shawley McCarthy. His sister Marion won 8 All-Ireland Camogie medals, so there's another medal going to the McCarthy household. That's young David Quirk, 20 years of age. Very pleased. Cathal Casey made big contribution. Tony O'Sullivan, a very fine forward indeed, and Sean O'Gorman, who was a sub for so often, but opportunity knocked on this occasion for him. Ger Cunningham, very pleased, and Mark Foley, who found his touch and got a great goal. Brendan O'Sullivan has played his heart out throughout this campaign. Dennis Walsh, the dual player. Well, he really got the measure of Noel Lane in the second half. He had to. More of the subs, Pat Buckley and Father Michael O'Brien there. Exchanging a greeting with Liam Mulvihill. Ger Fitzgerald, proud as punch. Now an Aer Lingus employee here in Dublin, and he's been flying down to many of the training sessions. There's Gerald. Very, very pleased men. John Fitzgibbon there, the 2-goal hero of the second half. Tom Kingston, the reserve goalkeeper. Well, we hope that all of you across in Britain have enjoyed it. We hope you've enjoyed a memorable All-Ireland final. Cork are the champions. From all of us in Croke Park, good afternoon to you.
A little while yet. Well, here in Croke Park we stay with this All-Ireland final for just a little bit longer. Perhaps Cork are facing one of their toughest battles of the afternoon now, that battle to get down off the Hogan stand, round the back of the stand and into the dressing room. I have beside me one very pleased Donald O'Grady, I can assure you, and Bobby Ryan, and all of us enjoyed this match. Donald O'Grady, what a comeback by Cork. The minors showed the way in the first game, and maybe the seniors took the inspiration from that.
That's true, Michael. A terrific comeback, but it must be said also that it was a fantastic game all through. Hurling was of the highest quality, very fast, very skillful. But the thing about it was that, looking at the second half, as I said at half-time, Cork were only 5 points down. Galway looked to be on top in all departments, and suddenly it all changed. But whatever it is about this Galway team, they have a tendency sometimes to kind of self-destruct, and I think that they missed at least a goal and 3 or 4 points in the first 10 minutes, which was crucial. And the more that the game went on, I think Cork fancied themselves, because Galway weren't going any further away from them, and then they got a couple of goals and it was all back in the melting pot, and Galway couldn't get back their rhythm. And
okay, Donald, well, we will get the views of Bobby Ryan in just a moment. Right now we have a commercial break to take. Come back to us again, because we'll be hearing again from Donald and Bobby after that.
You're working hard, you do your best, and sometimes just not enough.
Well, Maggie.
Mick?
How's the starlet going?
Ah, great.
Are you going into town tonight?
Remember you're locking up, Joe.
Some can still remember. For some of us, it's only May. For some of us, September.
Dad, could I take the Corolla? Don't be annoying me, Joe.
Life's for real. It puts you to the test. Life's all about the things you love. Wishing all the best.
In November, Ireland's Gaelic footballers take on the mighty Australians down under. Be there with Calibre, the alcohol-free lager. Details in this week's Sunday Independent.
New PMPA. Still the #1 favourite for Irish drivers, and now leading on the home stretch too. With increased discounts on home insurance, up to 15% if your car is already insured with new PMPA. Plus a further 15% off your contents premium if you have an approved alarm system. So phone Telecover at 722-888 and find out just how competitive we can be. New PMPA. We compete, you win.
While Nigel's doing a few extra circuits at the gym, I've invited Julia, his girlfriend, back for a spaghetti bolognese. It's a healthy options meal from Birdseye, made to a low-fat recipe with no artificial colours or preservatives.
Oh, I did 40 lateral raises, bench pressing with 60 kilos and 150 sit-ups.
I'm more of a squash man myself. Shut up, Nigel.
Now, you don't have to be health mad to take the healthy option.
You are always on a winner with Tile World, 16 Leitrim Street, Cork.
Banahim's Clock Jordan, Irish agents for Rolly Toys. Full range of Christmas goods on display. Trade only. Visit the Galway Ideal Homes Exhibition and Garden Festival in Leisureland, Salt Hill next weekend. Master Catering Equipment, Tuam Road, Galway for quality, service and value. For quality windows and doors, contact Tully Window and Doors, Woodford, County Galway.
Everyone's a winner at Supermax Fast Foods, now open at Merlin Park, Galway.
Lackey Quarry Group Galway and Ready Mix Concrete, a winning combination every time.
Dairy Gold, a natural part of the good mornings. The good days. And the good evenings. There's only one Dairy Gold. Make it your daily spread.
Well, an emptying Croke Park now. The All-Ireland final of 1990 has been won and lost. The Cork supporters are heading off for a celebratory drink. The Galway fans are going away, well, perhaps to wonder where it all went wrong. Let me go back to my panel again of Donald Grady and Bobby Ryan. We heard from Donald before the break. Bobby, in the second half, one significant factor in this turnabout for Cork, I felt, were Ger Cunningham's puck-outs. He was hitting tremendous puck-outs that were coming all the way down here into the Galway defence and was causing havoc.
That's right. So you had the biggest hitter in the game in Ger Cunningham. But I didn't think he actually could work. We were just talking about that at half-time because Keady is so strong under the ball. But Tomas Mulcahy, when he came out on Keady, you know, he didn't maybe catch it, but he stopped Keady from catching the ball. And a lot of broken play came around then, and you Kevin Hennessy and John Fitzgibbon nigging in around, and caused a lot of problems around the full back line then.
I felt, Bobby, that Ger Cunningham, the puck father expert, was actually hitting it beyond the half-back line, which is the problem. He was hitting it into a no-man's land between the half-backs and in front of the full-back line.
If you go back and do this, was what was happening, you see. Tony Heath was pulled back almost in on top of Sean Tracy, confusion, and Tomas Mulcahy did a great job in the sense that he was not so much catching the ball, but breaking the ball, and the ball was lying around for guys like Sullivan to hover in around and get it. They got some lovely scores out of that.
I know that Tipperary folk might occasionally begrudge it, but there is one thing you cannot deny, Cork. they have an ability and a spirit and a pride perhaps in the red and white to come out in the most difficult situations and play like champions, and that's what they are.
Superb. They came up today with no hope. I said it here 3 weeks ago, but that Galway I would fancy. I said it last night, but at the same time, Cork are Cork, and you just can't wipe them out. The same in the minor game. They're, the Red Devils. That's what they are, and superb team, great character.
Donald, you mentioned Galway's ability to self-destruct in situations like that. Looking perhaps on a more analytical process of this particular game, where did it go wrong for Galway? Joe Cooney faded out in the second half. What happened?
Joe Cooney faded out. He didn't get the support really in the ball. Cork, as I said at half-time, tightened up considerably around the midfield. They worked harder. When Kyle Casey came into the game, he changed. He closed down Michael Coleman and he gave great support to his half-back line. David Crook came in instead of Kieran McGuckin, and that tightened up things as well. But from the long puck outs, they were breaking, and we got a couple of lucky scores. Tomas Mulcahy came onto one breaking ball and stuck it, and then the pressure came on the Galway full back line.
Yeah, this was an aspect of it, Donald, that Galway conceded 5 goals today. 4 of those goals were conceded by the full back line. We're going to have a look at some of those scores now because you've been talking to them, and this is something that Galway are going to go away and question about and wonder exactly why they let that happen.
Well, the thing was that Cork were exerting more pressure as the game went on. And John Fitzgibbon in particular, he's a great goal getter. That's his job inside the 14. And this is a long puck out from Ger. I think this is Tomas Mulcahy's goal, where you'll see where it breaks on there off Ger Fitzgerald, as far as I know, and he just comes onto the ball, rather luckily. But that's his job, and he controls it well and gives John Commons no chance. The only chance John Commons had was to come out to him actually at that what Ger Cunningham did against Martin Upton. A great goal. Lifted Cork at the time that they needed lifting.
Yeah, well, we saw him score a goal like that in 1986, and he's repeated the performance today for Cork.
Well, it was a difficult chance and he took it, and that's what you need to do to win All-Ireland.
They were superbly taking scores by the full forward line. And what impressed me about them was when they got the ball in situation there that they had the strength and conviction to burst their way in, basically, in front of goal.
Well, this was a great score from Mark Foley, where he turns and just puts it away.
Yeah, he will have been particularly pleased with this because he wasn't really in this game, Donald.
No, he was out of it completely. Tony Keeley totally dominated him. But the thing was, you have Mark Foley, Tomas Mulcahy, Kevin Hennessy and John Fitzgibbon. They're all very strong players. And John Fitzgibbon's main thing is that when he gets the ball around the 14, Kevin Hennessy the same, they all created fierce problems for the Galway full back line, which there was vast question marks over before the match started. And I think that they were shown up there today.
Bobby Ryan, we've had some great battles between Tipperary and Galway over the past 3 years or so. I suspect a defeat like this today could do a lot of damage to Galway, or do you agree with that?
No, I don't think so. I think what we saw today was an absolutely fabulous game of hurling. Right, Galway will go home, naturally they're disappointed, but it was a great game, and every Galway player can be so proud of the way they played out there today. They're going to come back even as a better team, even having been through that experience. There's no way you get rid of a Galway team just because they lost in All-Ireland. They've lost before, they know what it's like to lose. They've had a great run and they'll be back. But this was a superb game of hurling. I think one of the best games of hurling I've ever seen.
Bobby, just want to mention one thing. We'd like to apologise to the people at home. We've been showing you some of those goals in replay there. As you can see, they're not exactly in technically the best of order, but I'm sure Cork people won't mind having another look at them, whatever colour they come out in anyway. Would you agree with that, Donald, about this Galway situation now?
I would. I think that they've been done before. Cork, a great second half display. So really, when Galway look back at it, even though, as I said, they missed a lot of scores, it was really Cork that took on the match in the last 15 minutes. And Ger Canning said in his commentary it was there for the taking at one stage, and Cork rose, and they took it. Galway possibly have to make a few changes. They need a better balance, I think, in attack.
OK, Donald, we're going to break you there for a moment because Jim Carney has now battled his way into the dressing room, presumably with some of the players. Let's go over to Jim straight away.
Well, in a crowded but happy dressing room, I'd like to speak first with Tomas Mulcahy. It's the dream of every hurler to play for his county, Tomas. It's a bigger dream to captain your county. What's it like to captain your county to the McCarthy Cup?
It's just a wonderful feeling at the moment, Jim, and I don't think it's sunk in yet. I suppose sometime tomorrow morning. But we're just happy for everybody that's involved in the team, the selectors, the panel. We carry this 26th panel, and we've trained hard since October, and I think we deserved it today.
My friend Dr. Con Murphy in Cork said a couple of minutes ago that it was thrilling to win and thrilling to watch such a great game from the dugout. On the field, how did it feel to you, Tomas?
From the very start, Jim, it was very warm out there. I think there wasn't a puff of air there. I think there was a lot of water being thrown around. But there's 70 minutes, it's very fast, it's a short time, you come in at half-time and back out again, you know, so we're just happy that...
And your own goal, Tomas, shades of a few years ago.
Well, no matter who gets one today, Jim wants to go win, you know, and I'm just happy for the rest of the lads.
To a banker, a nice lodgement in the bank.
Oh yeah, definitely so.
Kevin Hennessy. Kevin Hennessy, they said before once or twice that maybe you weren't the man that you were. I don't know what that meant, but what do you think of it today?
They were probably right previous days, you know. I mean, look, the game boils down to if the ball bounces by the end of the day. you're lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time. You know, I was lucky enough to be in the right place a few times today, and that's the way it works, you know.
In that second half, Kevin, you seem to make a lot of room. The ball was coming in. You seem to be moving out, letting fellas flying in. Those tactics, they certainly work.
Well, they worked today. Other days they mind they work. We tried hard, and they came off today, and when they come off, nothing can go wrong, you know.
Thanks very much, Kevin, and well done. Sheriff Fitzgerald, we've met twice already today. It's nice to talk to you again. Gerald, they say that you're a calm kind of fella, laid back, but you must have a stirring in your heart right now.
I'm fairly fast now, all right. It was beaten fast about 10 minutes ago when they were coming at us, but we held on, thanks be to God, and we won in the end.
And a real tough, hard game for you, Gerald, out there in the wing.
Very hard, yeah, very hard. A lot of running, but I'm wrecked now, but we have a few points tonight, we'll relax, we'll get over it.
Good, well done, Gerald, yeah. Well, Sean O'Gorman, everybody around Croke Park is raving about your performance this afternoon. It's been said that you had a few disappointments in the past, but tell us about that first before you tell us about today.
Today, I don't believe in any disappointment after today.
Yeah,
today makes up for everything.
It's been a long haul for you, Sean, but the game went so well for you today. How did you read it yourself? It mightn't be fair to ask you.
Yeah, when you're on the side, you don't notice how other players are playing or how you're playing yourself. You just concentrate on the ball. And I thought we were after blowing it there, after missing two great chances just after half time. And I thought our chance was gone, really, honestly I did. But there's great spirit. Father Brian and Joel here has tremendous spirit on his side, and there was no give up. We kept playing away all the time. I think we never gave up, and that was what won it for us for the finishing.
As a player, Sean, did you feel, as everybody did around the ground, that it was played at a very fast pace?
It was fantastic. It was draining out, it was really sapping. It's the greatest game I ever played in, without a doubt, you know.
The job has been done now, John. I'm sure you're looking forward to the homecoming.
Well, no, we'll get over next year.
Well, I'd say Sean O'Gorman will get one hell of a welcome in Cork. Well done, Sean, and many congratulations. Gerard Cunningham, nice to see you again, Gerard. We've met in winners' dressing rooms before, and maybe once or twice in a losers' dressing room. How is the feeling still, Gerard, after all these years?
Jim, the feeling gets better and better. I think you can never get enough of these things, you know. Winning in All-Ireland must be one of the best things, or one of the best feelings anybody could get. Fantastic feeling.
They say sometimes, Gerard, in all sports, the goalies have to be a bit mad, but I'd say right now you're mad with happiness.
It was fantastic. I think it was a great team performance, you know. The lads outside deserve great credit. I'm glad for everyone, for the team, backroom staff, for the supporters. They wrote us off again today like terrorists. I think we proved the point today.
Well done, Gerard.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, Gerald McCarthy, I'm delighted to see you, Gerald, a great friend of mine down through the years. I was a wonderful admirer of yours as a player, and it's exciting to see you back here as a mentor now. Gerald, it was a little difficult for you today, Gerald, because you probably longed to be out there yourself.
Well, I don't know about that, Jim, really. The pace of that game today was really tremendous. I think, quite honestly, all lads deserve great credit. To come 7 points down in an All-Ireland final, when you went into it as underdogs in the first place to begin with, it's a fantastic effort on behalf of the lads. But while we were a little worried before half-time, we always felt that the lads did have that capacity to come back, and they proved it in the second half. There's nothing wrong with Cork hurling, and I hope the people who wrote us off throughout the year will have another look at Cork hurling and see it's not too bad.
And your minors, a sensational comeback in the minor game, so Gerald, I'd say you have no fears about the future of the old game down there.
No, it was a tremendous day for Cork hurling. Really.
Well, now tell us a little about this man who's beside you, Father O'Brien.
This man, it is rumoured, might have to go to Rome to have the whole thing ratified out there.
And you'll go with me, it's my chauffeur. Well done, Gerald.
They do say that there's a chance of him being canonised, but there's certainly no chance of me, I think.
Well done, Gerald. Many congratulations, yes. Father Michael O'Brien, in many ways, this is the Players' Day, but in some ways, too, it's Father O'Brien's Day. Everybody in Cork has waited for you to be up here with the McCarthy Cup winning team, because you pretty much won everything else with them.
Well, Jim, you know, it takes a team effort, and I said a few raw things at half-time to them. We were playing with a 10-man team up to half-time. But that's some of the lads didn't seem to realise we were in the Ireland final, but I think they got the hang of it at half-time. And they went out there and they huddled, like I told them, I said 35 minutes left after 12 months, hard slog. And ye did it, ye deserve it, get out there and win it.
And the other 5, we'd better make sure they're nameless for the moment, Father O'Brien, but they did you proud in the second half.
I wouldn't name them or anything, but they're always, if anybody expects 15 players to go out and play for 60 minutes out in the pitch or 70 minutes, they're in cuckoo land. They weren't bad players. They were good players, very, very good players, and they were players that came into the game, and we made switches. We have an understanding. There are 26 on the panel. Our shops still come on. There was no rancor, no bitterness. If you're not good enough, if you're tired or otherwise, remember last night was a tough night. We had 6 young fellas, 7 young fellas on the team today. But it's one for all and all for one, and I only take a portion of that credit.
One thing about them, Father O'Brien, you know these fellas so well. Apart from the hurling, they must be a bit special to you.
23, yes, I told them I'm very, very fond of them. 23 of 26 came under my wing in one way or another.
And all you've won in the past, Father, how does it all compare with this one?
Well, I'm not a man for talking about these things, but we weren't favourites. We were written off by every... Well, be careful, there'll be liable action. Nearly all the press wrote us off today. Now we were only... Somebody nearly called us donkeys or something. That we played out... A Corkman said we played out All Ireland in Thurles. And I told them that we could do better than that. We went out and we played better second half, I believe, than we played in Thurles.
Well, many congratulations, Father Ryan, and immense credit to you.
Thank you, Jim Carney, and you're a man from the West, and, you know, you can be proud of Galway. There was a dirty stroke in the game, and that's what it's all about to me.
Yes, I share that view. Well said, Father. And many congratulations to you. And one of the lads you're most proud of, Tony O'Sullivan. Tony, we spoke briefly on the pitch. It was a crowded scene out there. It's a little more relaxed now, and I met Mary O'Sullivan, who is the happiest woman in Croke Park today. But Tony, you've been through this, 82, 83, you came and won your medal in 86. Now 4 years on. The feeling, however, it still must be the same. Must be a fantastic feeling.
Oh yeah, Jim. To win an All-Ireland on any occasion, whether it's your first, your fourth, it doesn't matter. Great feeling. We got a bit of a fright. We probably came in as underdogs. We didn't mind that fact. We started off well. We got a good goal through Kevin, but then we went completely out of the game, and in fairness to Galway, they came back and out-hurled us. They got picked off some great scores, and still we were only 5 points down at half-time. There was a strong breeze there, and we still felt we had a chance. We came out after half-time, and you know, we probably missed a few scores, but we didn't panic, which is probably the main thing. And then a few switches in the attack, and we all started...
It like a dream, yeah. Well, Tony, a great tradition, 27 All-Irelands now, and the footballers, of course, successful too. There must be something special about going back to Cork after winning.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic occasion, yeah, and in fairness to the supporters, like... They followed us all down through the year when probably nobody gave us a chance at the start of the year.
I'd say you'd like to see them out tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well, Tony, you'll be proud of them and they'll be proud of you, and deservedly so. Well done, Tony O'Sullivan. Back now to the studio.
I was just trying to remember there if I'd said anything bad about Cork in the last few weeks. I'd hate to have a priest curse down on top of me. Now, earlier we were trying to show you those goals that Cork scored in the second half. Goals, 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 Donald O'Grady. That's what this game was all about. There were 7, a couple to Galway, 5 to Cork. You started scoring goals, you finished scoring goals, and by golly, the ones you finished with were the most important ones.
Yeah, this is one coming up now where Ger Cunningham hit down an enormous ball, and it just broke between Ger Fitz and Tomás Mull. Luckily enough, came onto it at edge of the square and banged it home. John Commons made the only chance he had really was to come out against him and hope that it would go off his body. But a great goal and it lifted Cork.
This was another important one, of course, Bobby, because after Tomás Mulcahy's goal, Cork were still 4 points down, but Mark Foley's one really started to turn things around.
A great ball from Kevin.
Yeah.
Passed the ball across and Mark caught it very well and slipped it into the far corner. Gave Commons no chance either.
Donald O'Grady, they weren't finished yet, more to come.
No, this was a very pleasing one really where Mark Foley sent it across, and John Fitzgibbon and Kevin Hensey went towards it and it broke behind John Tracy and John Fitzgibbon, and he's deadly really how much he puts it away into the corner. Look, no chance for John Commons right in there. There wasn't a chance in hell of saving that. Great goals really for Cork, and that's what won the title for them in the end.
Well, Bobby Ryan, there was still more to come from Cork, but really at this stage, if the writing was on the wall for Galway, Cork were in full flight.
That's right. Great cross here from Kevin Hennessy. I think Fitzgibbon did very well here to control himself. I don't know how question mark about the amount of steps he took with that ball, but he really butted away. I don't want to take from the goal to the fine goal, but I think I counted about I think it was about 7 or 8 steps. But
okay, well I think there's one man who should be mentioned at this stage, Donald O'Grady, and that's John Commons in the Galway goal, because he'd be wondering how 5 goals went past him today. He played very well other than that.
Well, it's just, you see, you have to have a special relation between the full-back and the goalkeeper, and I think he didn't get the best of cover, but at the same time, there's a question mark over the first goal, whether he was at fault or not. I mean, the thing is, I couldn't see it from this end of the pitch, but if he felt he was, maybe he might have dented his confidence a little. And he could have advanced, I thought, to Tomás Mulcahy. Maybe that was the only chance he had to block it, whereas he stood in the line, and that's fatal for a goalkeeper. But let me add as well, Michael, that I wasn't one of the people who tipped Galway for this match. Even before the match, I said just I had a slight fancy for Cork. I want to nail that one.
Passing on quickly, Bobby Ryan, there is another aspect of this game which we must not forget. Tipperary, of course, are still a good side. They'll be back again flying next year, I'm sure. Cork are now the All-Ireland champions. It sets up a huge championship in Munster next year, and one that you must already be looking forward to.
Well, I am indeed. It reverses the role really, in a sense. Pressure's going to be on Cork next year. They're the ones that are going to have to do, they're the champions, so right, we're going to come out. We've had a reprieve this year. We're out of the championship. We've had a long break. So now we're going to take the league seriously, whereas Cork will probably relax a bit. We've got to find a few players, and it's going to be a great Munster final, because I think it's going to be tipping Cork.
Does it change your approach now? You mentioned that having to take the league seriously. Does the fact that Cork are Munster and All-Ireland champions now have to change your entire approach to the championship next year?
It will, of course, because we have to build our team. We're still looking for players all the time, so once the final comes around, but to do well in the league is important when you're building a team. And obviously we have to look for some more players. Cork are going to sit back, and I don't think they'll take the league seriously. We certainly didn't take it last year, because you can't continue. When you win in All-Ireland, you have to have a break. You have to close and say, right, stop, and then start again early in the spring. And that's what happened to us last year.
Well, Bobby, that's all for next year. Obviously, it's something to look forward to in Munster, but today we once again congratulate the seniors of Cork on a fabulous All-Ireland victory. One thing to be decided out of this final: the man of the match for this Waterford Crystal Trophy. Well, that will be announced tonight on the Sunday game. The Telecom Air and RTE Sport man of the match. Who will be the winner? You can find out on the Sunday game. Nicholas English, Kieran Barr will be our panellists tonight. The programme is at 9:55 on Network 2. And don't forget our live phone-in. The phone lines are open from about now. 830000 is the number to ring if you have any comments to make to us on today's game. 01 if you're outside Dublin, 830000. And that's where we leave it indeed from Croke Park. We had a fabulous miler match, a draw between Cork and Kilkenny. But we leave you by saying once again, congratulations to the seniors of Cork. A fabulous performance from all of us here at Croke Park this afternoon. Bye-bye for now.